who are you and where are you from?
My name is Andrew. I'm a UCLA student and I'm originally from San Jose, California.
And what's your major there at UCLA?
Cognitive science.
Wow. And so, do you have a COVID story? Have you had COVID or anyone you've known had COVID?
I haven't tested positive, but I'm pretty certain one of my roommates in the dorms last year had it, back February 2020. And aside from that, I've been pretty, dormant, so I haven't had much exposure to people who had COVID. But it's been a okay year.
No family, no friends, nothing?
My cousin in the Czech Republic had COVID. After, like, the country as a whole did a pretty good job managing it at first, and then it kind of blew up. And she got it, but everything turned out fine.
So at UCLA, have you guys been distancing, and what kind of precautions have you been taking in your classes?
So I've been living with my roommates off campus all a year actually, because our campus is closed, aside from essential services, so like graduate and PhD research, but I want to say in February of this year they opened it back to like undergraduate researchers, but aside from that, all our classes have been online the whole year, and they continue to be, but we're supposed to go back in the fall, so.
Have there been parties? There's been socialization or anything like that?
There have been like pods of people that usually spend time together. Like there's a popular hill called Janss Steps that people go to and watch the sunset and stuff. So people usually meet up over there. I know Frats have definitely had their own, like they had like new pledge classes and everything throughout this year. But I'm not in Greek life, so I don't really rub shoulders with any of those people too often. And yeah, I've mostly spent the year just with my roommates, going hiking, biking, beach, stuff like that, so.
Has it added to your anxiety level or unhappiness level? I mean, have you been getting together with family and on holidays and friends and?
Yeah, I have the privilege of having a car down here, so I've been able to drive back like 3 times since September for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and one other time just for fun. But in terms of anxiety, I really like my roommates. They're my best friends, so we've just been able to spend a lot of time together, and also just time alone to like think about the things that I want to do. It's definitely different than like being in college and being able to throw yourself in any situation you want and kind of figure yourself that way. But I've equally had an enjoyable experience, like really sitting down and reading a lot of books that I wouldn't have otherwise read, or like going places. Like I started volunteering at the farmer's market in Santa Monica, so I've met a lot of people that way, which I probably would have never done because I'd always be like hungover, you know, so. Yeah.
And I was going to ask that, anything good happened this year, so that was some of the good stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff that happened this year, mainly in the way of like solitude and being able to like really slow down and think about. I feel like I'm in a like fork in my life with college, like in terms of deciding kind of where I want to start making progress towards, and so being able to have everything really like slow down around me has made it a more manageable decision, and I think I've been able to kind of figure things out a little bit.
And what about the government response? Has it been over the top, not enough? Do you have any opinions on that?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like a numbers person, but I do think that statistics are important. And like with hindsight, it's easy to say that there would have been better solutions, but I feel like in the end, for the most part, like aside from financial incentives, everyone was just trying to make the best, most responsible decision possible. So I'm not like upset or anything, but I definitely would have liked for more logical decisions, or in my eyes, logical decisions to be made in terms of like outdoor dining and small business closures, and then like PPE I don't think was really fairly distributed. But yeah, I kind of also try to stay out of that sort of thing because it's a little bit complex. And
you have masked, so you have distanced, and you are vaccinated, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, for my sake too, but mostly for other people around me, just in terms of comfort. Like,
Were you at all concerned about the vaccinations?
Not really. I do know somebody that works at Trader Joe's though that like refuses to get the vaccine. But aside from that, I think all my friends have been pretty. I don't know what the right word would be, but like they've been pretty fine getting it as soon as it's available, just so we can kind of start making progress to being able to do stuff in college again.
Well, that's one of the last questions. What do you see as the future? Is this the new normal, masking and shots, or do you think we've turned a corner?
I don't know about shots, but I know like East Asian countries like China, like masking has been like a little bit more common than in the United States, and so maybe like moving forward it might be kind of like that too. I personally will not be wearing one just because I feel like it gets in the way a lot, and as long as I know that I'm healthy and I'm doing everything I can in the way of like vitamins and stuff like that, then I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. I just think about being cautious, I guess.
And lastly, looking forward, looking back on the year, do you have any philosophical retrospective thoughts about life and death, or just philosophical ways that you were dealing? This
Sure.
project is about people who are adapting to the COVID year.
Okay. So, like, if it's specifically germane to the topic, I would say I rethought like the fundamental principles of certain things. Like, this might not make sense, but like I consider days as like nothing really more than containers, and it can be as continuous or discontinuous as you want it to be. You know, like you wake up every day, you could choose to do the exact same thing and kind of just treat it as like a single timeline with just like a little pause. Or you could just treat it as an entirely new day. And so sometimes, like if I have a project I need to do for like programming or something, I like to try to treat it as continuous. But if I'm doing something like hanging out with friends or something like that, then I like to have the pauses. I don't know, but yeah. I think thinking of like trying to meta-analyze myself too much would probably be a little destructive. So I've tried to avoid that, just knowing myself.
Well, very good. On this day, the 14th of May, 2021, on Route 66 and Santa Monica Boulevard. Thank you very much.
Of course, yeah.
Important note. These interviews attempt to follow how Americans live their daily lives in a pandemic, their behavior, and personal belief systems. The views expressed are not those of journalist Michael Sean Comerford, nor any affiliated organizations, past or present. No interview should be considered an endorsement of the opinions expressed by the interviewee. These pandemic-focused interviews document a wide range of views held by individuals along Route 66 from February to May 2021.